very much welcome to our speakers here today. I suppose to Ms. Hannay and to Mr. Andrew Brownlee and Ms. Gallagher, apologies, from outside the chamber here. Mr. Brownlee, you were at the Work Equal, and we very much appreciate, you were involved in that actually a month or so ago. I remember meeting you through that. I suppose just that I would have been on the board of the Galway Roscommon Education Training Board as a councillor, and only for a year. And I was so surprised as a councillor and as a person. I worked in, I suppose, in third level, but I had no idea of everything that ETBs do, okay? Not at all, not a notion, to be honest, until I sat on that board and realised the breadth, the width and breadth of everything that they do. And I understand as well that funding for FET is, if I understand correctly, 800 million, and you're looking at 25,000 courses. So there's a lot of funding going into that sector. I had a lot of questions, I remember at the time, in relation to communication. Now, obviously, people are so busy doing everything, but communication is a real key, especially in what you're doing, to make sure that people are aware of what's out there. So I suppose I have a question around communication in Solace, and according to the different areas in the ETBs, how much has been dedicated to communication to ensure that I suppose the engagement with career guidance counsellors at second school level, secondary schools, in other words, to tell them about the courses that are out there and to really deal with that sort of factor of that university is not the only option and that there is other options. I suppose also industry liaison, very much with ETBs, and again, that there is a response to industry, an immediate response. Where I come from, we've lost jobs. We have lost jobs. We've been very lucky recently to win jobs in Castlereagh and again in the medtech sector. But I come from an area where Board Namona just transition. All of that's happening in retrofitting, for example. But where is the tie-in? Because the retrofitting courses, I don't know, were out there. People are trying to upskill really fast, but it takes a year, perhaps, or 2 years to get the courses done. I suppose I do just have questions around that. Who are the industry liaisons within each of the ETBs? And I suppose how active are they? So I might just leave it there. And just really to compliment you as well on e-college being opened up. But again, back to communication and back to people being aware that that's out there. Do you know? Thank you very much.
Chair, I might start with the general questions and then hand over to Carol and Crona on the specific kind of ETB ones. First of all, I totally agree. It's been a big focus for Solace over the last few years, and certainly since I became CEO in September 2019, around the standing of FET, how we communicate it. We've done quite a significant amount of work with the Institute of Guidance Counsellors, with the Parents' Council, with the Institute, is it the Institute of Second Level Students, the Student Union for Second Level Students, to try and build that awareness of FET and apprenticeship opportunities. I think we are getting a higher profile, and people are starting to have those conversations when it's about, we're talking about post-second level choices, but there's a long way to go, and it does need concerted investment. We need to change the hearts and minds of parents and their children, and of the guidance counsellors, because the guidance counsellors are all registered teachers. They've probably come through a higher education background and a pathway. So we need to show them what's on offer in further education and training and apprenticeship. And I also think there's a job of work with the schools as well. We obviously talk a lot about school league tables. We talk about all the focus on the CAO. I think we need to do more work to develop vocational options and vocational pathways within schools, whether that's as transition year programmes, giving them an apprenticeship taster, whether it's delivering FET modules as part of the senior cycle, which I think should be a big thing to think about as the senior cycle is reviewed, and actually expose them to those kind of vocational technical experiences. Because there's a lot, and particularly when you look at maybe some single-sex skills, they actually don't have the teaching capability to offer those types of vocational and technical options that you need to expose a wider base of people.
So can I just ask then as well, I suppose then, would you consider an ETB liaison person that deals with secondary schools in particular regions? I mean, does that exist? Yeah. That is so, sorry. Thank you very much.
I accept what you're saying about communication, and we often say ourselves that we're too busy doing it to actually tell people we're doing it, which sometimes is, it's an area we do need to work on more. We do have an individual, an industrial liaison division within our ETB, which is quite a new departure in the last year and a half or so. But as well as that, our individual colleges would all have liaison with industry. Now, a lot of it is actually through the work experience, because all of our FET students do work experience. We have a huge connections built up. They're built up very often by the heads of departments or the people who are running the different courses. Our guidance counsellors, we have guidance counsellors in the FET colleges, so they would liaise with guidance counsellors in second level. We also have open days in all of the colleges, and about 4 years ago we started in the city doing what we call FET Expo, where we have a day where we have an exhibition of everything that we offer across FET in the ETB.
Can I just ask, is that just in Dublin, or?
The liaison officer, as far as I know, most of the other ETBs have liaison officers as well.
Okay.
But it's quite a new departure.
Okay, that's good.
And then as well as that, we're part of the Regional Skills Fora. We attend IBEC events, and so we would have, we would have different ways of communicating.
Thank you very much. And just, if I may ask one last question, or are we tight on time? Just very quickly, and maybe it's another type of response, but just teachers and trainers, what is the difference in ETB between teacher and trainer?
Well, teachers are generally, they are recognised by the Teaching Council, and trainers are generally people who would have been in the training centres, and we would also have tutors in the adult education service. So teachers are, but we refer to all of them as teachers.
Okay.
So,
can I allow Ms. Gallagher just to come in as well, because just your time has, you're okay, Senator, but we'll allow Ms. Gallagher just come in. I know she's want to come in there on a part. Okay, Ms. Gallagher.
Yeah. Thanks very much. It is a challenge for ETBs, as you've said, because of the diversity of our provision. We work at levels 1 to 6 on the NFQ, so our provision and our learners are very diverse, and we are very conscious of the fact that our communication isn't probably what it needs to be. I just wanted to say that most ETBs now would have a communications officer, and we are working, on social media a lot to try and promote our offerings to the public. And the other thing, in the last year as well, each ETB would have a liaison committee between schools and FET services. Now, those committees, because of COVID, haven't probably done as much as they should do or wanted to do, but they would have guidance counsellors, they'd have principals, they'd have FET managers on them, with a view to kind of expanding the knowledge, if you like, within schools. I mean, there would be lots of different individual things happening within schools, but there are actually formal committees in each ETB now as well to promote FET within schools as a real option for school leavers. The other thing I wanted to say, just in relation to industry liaison, every ETB now would have an enterprise engagement team as well, and at least one officer working within that team, at least one, but in many cases a full team. And one of the good things about the last few months is that actually our industry engagement has skyrocketed, in fact, because industry has seen us as being able to be flexible and adaptable and to provide courses which met their needs. And for example, things like infection prevention and control, courses like digital sales and media, leadership courses, all of those courses, industry have come to us and have been really positive about our engagement with them.
Thank you very